Okay, so this is the 2020 Heritage Edition Land Cruiser that we're offering for sale on Bring a Trailer the first week of December 2024. This video is going to go over just the electrical system in this vehicle. This vehicle will come with a wiring diagram of everything that has been done to this in case anybody wants to add anything or troubleshoot anything in the future. This electrical system was installed by Dissent Off-Road in 2020 when the car was sold new. We sent this vehicle to them to get built. So there are going to be a couple of things that I want to highlight here. We'll kind of actually start with, let's go right behind the second row seating. So in terms of overall electrical system, it is nice and cleanly mounted to the back of the Trek Box Alpha system. Easily accessible by just flipping up the second row seats the normal fashion, just by pulling on the lever and letting them fold upwards. We have a couple things that we would like to highlight. One, this vehicle does have a 1,000 watt SAMLEX inverter. It is actually powered by a battery, which is a Battleborn 100 amp hour LIFE PO4 lithium battery. Is mounted on the driver's side of the vehicle, right behind or right next to the refrigerator. It is mounted, as you can see, all the wire loom comes to this access area. Once you put the seat down, or this wing down, it will fold down with a soft close. So we'll kind of go through all these different modules. First, we have an ARB LINX system. ARB LINX is controlled by a little cell phone-like controller, which we have mounted right here in the sunglasses holder area. Really no different than just an Android phone. It does clip on via magnet to that little mount right behind it, as you can see. Once you turn it on, and this will always be on when the car's on, it'll tell you all sorts of stuff like speedometer, altitude, but more importantly, you do have functions of your electrical system, so you can see your voltage on both batteries. And this is also a switching unit. It'll tell you tire pressure for the tire pressure system. You can turn on and off your compressor, and you can kind of customize what you want to turn on lights wise, compressor, lockers, date, various other things. So it's very customizable. And it's really always charging because it just connects with a USB-C port on the side. So we'll set that off over here for a moment. There are some redundant switching systems in this vehicle. From the driver's seat, you want it to be, you'll be using the ARB LINX controller. One cool thing about it being wireless, being paired to the system via a Bluetooth connection, is if you did want to actually use this outside the vehicle, like say a rooftop tent, or maybe at a campsite, or maybe you're just inflating or deflating your tires, you can actually just take this outside the vehicle, put it to whatever pressure you wanted, such as 40 psi, press the button, and then as long as the pump-up kit hose is connected to the tire valve stem, it'll just go until it hits 40, and then it'll stop. Same thing with deflating as well. If you wanted to turn on some scene lights while you're at campsite, you can just keep this in your pocket and control everything that way. So it's a pretty neat setup. I mentioned there's redundancies. So we have the S-Pod Bantam. So this is a three-way switch with the ARB LINX. When I say redundant and three-way, there are various lights, scene lights, rock lights, and various other lights that we can show in a moment that are controllable both three-way through ARB LINX and through the S-Pod Bantam control panel, which is on the back of the Trek Box drawer. This is a RedArc Manager 30. The Manager 30 is your DC-DC function device that is going to let the DC system through the auxiliary battery charge. This will charge multiple methods. I'd always go the greenest method first, so that would be solar. There are two 115 watt solar panels on the roof. So as long as you have sunlight, and this vehicle currently is in our showroom, which has glass walls, and so the system is actually being charged as right now through the windows. Secondly, it'll go through AC, which would be shore power. So if you were at a campsite and you had access to electricity, you could charge through that, or if you're at your home or in your garage and you want to keep everything kind of topped off, you can do it through this Manager 30 system. And of course, DC-DC through your alternator. So if you're driving down the road from campsite to a trail or another campsite or home or wherever, your system is always going to be topped off as long as the draw isn't more than what's being put into it from the alternator. But one cool thing about this is that it can charge through solar and alternator simultaneously. Any of the three sources can be charged simultaneously. So this right here is a Dissent off-road cable management cover. Behind here is a service loop, wires for anything that may need to be accessed for service, repair, or adding things in the future. Just a nice touch. This is all made of aluminum. You can see that's welded up, kind of in typical Dissent fashion. Also, there are some circuit breakers behind here as well. And it is powder coated to match the wheels because, again, this is a Heritage Edition. One of the things that makes the Heritage Edition so popular and special is it's a special edition. So it matches the bronze BBS wheels. Mentioned the 1,000 watt inverter going to the battery. And then, of course, we have the RedArc Red Vision control panel. The Red Vision control panel is really cool because it's talking directly to the Manager 30. On this control panel, you can see how much load is on the vehicle, not just in volts, but also in time until the battery will be depleted on the current load. So if you're running just a fridge, nothing else, it may say 3 weeks on the current load based on the battery's state of charge. So if you turn on your scene lights, it may go down to 1 week, or it may go down to 3 days, or maybe go down to 1 day. Depends on what load, how much power is drawing off of the lights. But all of the functions are controlled aftermarkets. They're not through CAN bus. They're going through the actual BC. They're running all the accessories running off the auxiliary battery, so you don't have to worry about ever depleting the crank battery on this vehicle, which is really cool. Let's check out the S-Pod Bantam and a couple other things, and then we'll move on to a separate video for other parts of this vehicle. So power inverter is going to be, button will be right here. That button right there will just turn on the power inverter. But typically it will run off. It is a 1,000 watt and it is pure sine. So if you have any fragile electronics, camera equipment, computer equipment, or anything that needs to have ultra clean power, this will accommodate that. 1,000 watts will accommodate most household items. Most blenders, hair dryers are right there around 1,000 watts. So you may not want to do multiple things that are high voltage, but you will be able to do almost any household item can run on that for a little while. Again, additional USB ports here, a USB-A, USB-C. We have an additional 12 volt here for something else that you may need, and there's a voltage meter here, which currently is turned off. It can be turned on through the S-Pod Bantam here. So you have the auxiliary power system. You also have your rock lights. You also have your roof lights. You have your dust lights, which are on the scene lights, and then also your bumper lights. So we have another access to the power inverter 110, another 12 volt, and some more USB ports, USB-A and USB-C. For shore charging, you can do that very easily. Right underneath of the car, I believe it's on the driver's side, there is a shore power outlet right here. And you can just plug in an extension cord and it will start charging up the battery through the Manager 30. That's pretty much it on the battery system for this vehicle. If you have any questions, just ask in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer.